Hello and welcome back to the Vega Baja Real Estate Talk here at Television Vega Baja. Today we have a very interesting topic again, and it's about the Swedish market. Sweden, a very interesting and very strong country, it's always been, and we talk with our experts. Many years ago, the Swedish were the first foreigners here at the coast at the Vega Baja, exactly arriving by boat to Torrevieja. And nowadays the Swedish are back again very strong. It's a very powerful market, a very powerful buyer's market. And today I have two of my experts from Sweden, both real estate agents here in the Vega Baja area. And I'd like to welcome Maria Johansson Cruz.
Thank you.
The Managing Director of Rosaleda Properties and here since 2003. Hello.
Hi.
And I also like to welcome the Managing Director of Hansson and Herzl Properties, Oskar Pettersson. Hi, Oskar. Here at the coast since 2009. Good morning.
Good morning.
Sweden, a very big country, a very strong buyer market. The Swedish have always been buying properties here at the coast. What's the actual situation right now? When has the Swedish market been picking up again? How long is that ago, Maria?
I haven't seen a pick up actually, because I have seen that the Swedish people were buying through the crisis as well. A little bit more now, definitely. So it is picking up, but we've had a lot of clients all the time during the crisis as well. So, well, I haven't seen that really much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we've seen in the last year, obviously in 2007, the crisis started here, so people kind of stopped buying properties. There was a shortage on buyers. But Oskar, I mean, in the last years, let's say, 5, 6, 7 years, when it seems that the Scandinavian market in particular picked up again, can you confirm that?
Yeah, I mean, I've personally been here since 2013. So since when I came, it's a big difference, at least for me. I can't speak for all agencies, obviously, but I mean, now it's hot. There's a lot of Swedish people coming, and there's a lot of leads coming through, and even all the Spanish agencies now are picking up Swedish leads. So yeah, there seems to be an oversupply of it.
Yeah, and do you think that is something going on in Sweden? So the economy has been good, but you're saying, Maria, there has hardly been any crisis for the Swedish buyers, or?
No, but I also think now that a lot of people in Europe, all over Europe, are quite unsafe. And in Sweden, I think that the media has been quite harsh, actually. So I think that people feel a little bit unsafe. So a lot of our clients anyway, they don't go to Thailand anymore, because a lot of Swedish people went to Thailand and they bought houses there. They went to Turkey to buy houses there, but there's a lot of things going on right there. So we are going to safer places, and this is a very safe place actually. Torrevieja does not have a lot of criminality, so I think not along the coast here anyway. So I think that's one of the main reasons actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's been. Can you confirm that? So I guess we've heard it last week as well, actually, about the British market, and you confirming it. So it's really a general situation all over the world, which is a little bit unstable in certain countries, and people trying to find more secure countries. Oskar,
I think there's one reason. Yeah, definitely. The media is definitely pushing the message in Sweden that everything is so terrible, and that's not really the case, obviously. Also, we have very cheap money in Sweden. At the moment, you can borrow money really cheap. Obviously, that has an impact on people buying houses, I'd say. And I think in general, just Spain is attracting more people. It's the third most visited country in the world at the moment with tourism, and that's only going to keep going as we see in a stable Middle East and everything. So yeah.
So, but you're referring to, though, it's pretty attractive to get finance in Sweden. So what people do is they mortgage their property back in Sweden, and then with that mortgage or with that equity, they buy properties down here in Spain.
Yes, this is what they do. They have to borrow the money from their own property in Sweden. But it's very cheap to own your own property in Sweden right now because of the mortgages. So you are owning something already there, and then it's quite easy to borrow on that property, to borrow money here to purchase.
Okay.
Something. But I also think, I also think that a very, very big influence is also health, actually. And I saw the previous show with my colleague Hilde, and they didn't mention that a lot. But in Sweden, the wave of ecological food and health is very, very strong. And I think this has to do because of we're working, well, not we, because I'm here, but they are working a lot. And I think that they are thinking about their health, actually, a lot. I think that a lot of people, they are not only investing in a property, they are investing in life. And I think that this is also why we have a lot of younger people investing today. Because they feel that we need to calm down, we need to relax somewhere. And it takes a lot of stress to go to different places all the time. When you come to a new place, if you go to Turkey or if you go to London, you need to know, okay, where's the pharmacy, where's the restaurant, where's this, where's that. You never go down in the relaxed mode, the vacation mode. And this is why I think a lot of people are investing here in the sun with good food, good to drink, and a lot to do.
That's again an interesting topic. Before, let's say 20 years ago, people really bought as a retirement home, probably when they were older, or as a family holiday home just for summer. But now, Oscar, there's also a younger generation. There's also like the 40 or 50-year-old. What you say, Maria? They invest in their life, don't they?
Yeah, and I would even say younger, about 30. I get a lot of younger clients. Yeah. And I think a reason is that if you have a little bit of extra money today, putting it in the bank in Sweden gives you nothing. You need to put it somewhere else, which gives you some yield on the capital invested. And for that sake, and in terms, obviously Torrevieja and this area is really good for renting out because there's basically no hotels. So buying a property here, and most people in Sweden knows how to do a little bit of renovation and such. Renovate it up, rent it out. Is a pretty good income, and young people are smart like that. I think.
So they have their home back in Sweden. They work, obviously they have their family there, but then they're not only considering to use it for the family. They use it as an investment. They use it themselves, and so they want to make some money and want to enjoy life.
Yeah, I mean the younger definitely, I'd say they are quite open to renting it out, and it makes sense, I think.
And let's say the retired people, that they're still out of the big group of Swedish buyers. There's still a good chunk of people saying, okay, we had our working life back home, we did our bit, and now we're going down. And are they staying for a few weeks, or are they staying throughout the whole year, or what would you say is the main profile?
I think that is a little bit depending on how many grandchildren you have at home. Because a lot of the clients, they're like, no, we can only stay 3 weeks at a time because we need to go back home. And some of them, they are staying for 6 months. So it's very different. It's different to say, actually.
But
difficult.
It's good to have both. Because before it was really only the person looking for a retirement home, and now it's both.
But I also think it has to do a little bit about the area as well. Where we have our main office in La Rosaleda, it's very close to the sea, very close to the city. And we have a lot of people living there since the 80s. This is one of the first areas since Gabel came, and he started building the La Mata, the Torre La Mata and the Lomas. And after that they started to build Rosaleda. So the Swedish people came there, and that's why it has been such a good area all the time. And we have a lot of people in the winter time. And this is why a lot of pensionists come to our area, because they say, okay, I hear that you have a very nice petanque club or something like that. And they're also thinking a lot about their grandchildren and children, because they're saying, our children are going to be here in the summertime, so it's still very important to have a swimming pool or very close to the sea or something like that.
Because we all know that Sweden is a very social country. So although the companies very much look after the family, and so it's social is very important, isn't it? So when they are down here, they also obviously want to have a good social life. Bars and restaurants well established, and what you say, the Batanka clubs or other activities. What would you say? What are they mainly looking for when they are down here, Oscar? Buying the house, you do your job, you help them, guide them through. But after that, what is mainly what they're looking for?
I think that totally depends on the buyer. There's a lot of different buyers. Some of them from the big cities, they just want to relax. Some of them maybe from the smaller cities want to have closer to some cosmopolitan life or whatever. So Torrevieja will be a good call. I can't really say what all of them are doing. I think beach takes up a lot of the time, to be honest with you. And the older they get, maybe less beach and more garden, maybe. I can imagine.
Yeah, but we have I think that we have a lot of clients coming here also with bicycling. I had clients the other day and he was like, yesterday I was going 21 Swedish miles. So that means 210. No, how much is that?
210
kilometers in one day. I'm like, what?
Wow.
So they went up through Altea and everything, up in the mountains, and then they went back on the same day. And
golf, obviously.
Yes, definitely.
Don't forget
golf,
that one.
We can never forget golf. Yeah, we are golfers in Sweden.
And this is the big opportunity. This is the big chance down here, because the Vega Baja just offers all that. So it offers, a part of the climate, but how many golf courses are in the Vega Baja area? There's plenty.
From Torrevieja, I think we have 7 or 9 within the distance of 15 minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
That's quite cool.
Yeah.
And I think we should mention the fact that there's a lot better telecommunication capabilities in this area at the moment. When I came down, I could only get 6 megabytes for my internet, which is quite little when you want to work on it.
We've got 4 now.
Yeah. Well, I got 100 now, and it makes a difference.
Yeah, it really does.
So I think a lot of people, business owners in Sweden and such, you might as well be in Torrevieja doing some of the administration work than Sweden. I think we're seeing a lot of those ones coming down here, and also obviously flights. There's so many more flights today than it was before down here. So many more lines opening, companies, and that push. Prices are not super cheap though, as it was before. But
no, but we have to think about the environment, so that's only good.
Yeah. Carbon footprint.
Yeah. No, definitely. But that's obviously Sweden is such an advanced country in telecommunication. Obviously, when you're coming down here, you said just a few years ago, but now it's picking up, isn't it? It's definitely.
It really
and a lot of people ask for it. It's one of the first questions. What internet? What can we get? At least for the younger buyers.
But you mentioned it before. Swedish people are very concerned about their health and about their lifestyle related to health, and so that's why the outside activities are very important. But food is also very important.
Very important, and I think also that in our family, it's very important for us because we have a 6-year-old daughter. And for me, it's very important for her to eat ecological, not to eat cow milk, drink cow milk or things like that. It's very important to me. And in the beginning, when she was born, it was so difficult to find. And then they opened one small ecological store here, and Carrefour started to have ecological things. And more we see now. Aldi comes. Lidl comes also with a lot of ecological things, and I think that this is also one thing that really attracts the younger people from Sweden, actually, because they come here and they're like, where am I going to buy my food? Because food's very, very good here, vegetables and fruits and stuff, but the meat market here is not the best when it comes to antibiotics and things like that.
Okay. But you have an open street market basically every day somewhere in a village around the Vega Baja area, Oscar. So whoever is interested in healthy food, you can buy basically off the field from here, can't you?
Yeah, in that way it's great here.
So food is important for the Swedish people. Lifestyle is important. Outside activities. When it comes to property, what is kind of the type of property people are looking for, Oscar? What would you say? Obviously, again, it's different, depends on the generation, probably a little bit. And what would you say if you want to sell a property as a seller here to the Swedish market? What property would you go for?
I mean, first, obviously, you have new production in second-hand market. If we look at the second-hand market, I mean, South and Big Terrace is, I mean, those two are given. Without that, maybe West Position, possible East sometimes maybe, but South and Big Terrace is, that's main.
We like barbecue in Sweden.
Yeah, that's what we do. When it's dark all the time, we need to barbecue a lot. I mean, penthouses, because otherwise you don't get the light in Torrevieja, because everything is quite, narrowly built. If you look at the city, otherwise bungalows, townhouses is, I guess, is what most people buy. But we tend to sell mostly. I think maybe 70% of our properties are penthouses and such in Torrevieja area, and the rest is probably townhouses and bungalows. But it obviously depends on what kind of portfolio you have. If you only sell villas, your clients are going to be villa buyers.
Definitely.
Yeah. And Hilde, new builds. Swedish are also looking into new build properties, or is it?
Definitely, but I don't think it's like the Norwegian market, because I think that Swedish people, that IKEA comes from Sweden, so we are like born with it to renovate and stuff like that. So I think that the Swedish people, they are like, we can build our home where we want it. So I think it's a lot depending on where you want to be. What I feel is the north of Torrevieja, of the city, it's more calm and it's more Spanish, I think. And on the southern side, in Orvela Costa, we have more, not to say touristic, but it happens a lot all the time, and it's more new built and restaurants, and we've got,
it has more holiday feeling.
It's a pulse, I think. It's like things are happening there, and it's a little bit more quiet on the other side. So I think it's depending on where you want to be. And some people, they want to be off the coast. They just want the sun, and they want just to be. But I don't think that the Swedish people are scared of buying second-hand properties, because we know that we can always make the best of it anyway.
Yeah, I think it's also an age difference there. The slight older people, they want to have it comfortable. They just want to open the key, press the light, and live. Younger people, they probably see there's a bigger investment chance in doing something yourself and then sell it off.
Yeah, probably.
And today you can't even get new production close to the sea. So if you want to have it closer than 1.5 kilometers, you have to go down to Pilar de Ordada. Otherwise, you got nothing unless you want to pay 500,000 in La Mata. That's pretty much where we are at the moment. That's pushing obviously second-hand market a lot.
Yeah. But as you say, Oscar, the Swedish are a DIY country, so people are used to refurbish properties back home, so they wouldn't have a problem to do it down here as well. Probably with the help of some constructors down here, but still they know what they are looking for, don't they?
A lot of my clients anyway, they are like, okay, so there's a furniture pack, but what kind of furniture is that? Well, it's what you see here, but we don't want that. Do we have to have the furniture as well? Yeah. Because people want to make their own home. But I think that in Norway as well, that we are spending a lot of time in our houses, in our kitchens.
Yeah, I think that I've seen lately in the last, let's say, year maybe, that a lot of the Spanish agencies and such are actually thinking about how they style their houses a little bit more to sell to our market. Because you buy with the eyes. You walk around in 10 houses, if one of them looks a lot better but maybe isn't, that's the one they're going to buy. And Swedes are like that, and Norwegians and Scandinavians, because you come into a house in Sweden, it's probably going to look kind of like a new production in Spain is looking, almost. And so that the second-hand market aiming towards that, I think, is great. But the ones that are dirty smelling and old wooden furniture
with the toothbrushes and
tricky.
Towels. Yeah,
I'm trying every day, and it's tricky.
Yeah, it is actually.
Yeah. So buying resale properties, yes, but obviously not everything. So it needs to come up the resale property. If a private seller wants to sell it to the Swedish market, he has to come up to certain standards.
Yeah. I mean, at least for the eye, I've seen some of these houses. It's basically just a wooden. It's like not even a plastic. It's a paper sofa, paper tables. It must cost like what, €10 or something. People don't see that when they go, no, there must be something. So it's easy. You don't need a lot of money.
Yeah.
Few hours and maybe €100 can make a lot of difference in a house.
But I also think it's quite important to talk about the different qualities of new production as well, because we've been here for so long, and we started up the company quite early and before the crisis, and when the building boom started again, we went around to see, and all of the builders, they are not building that great, actually. So I think that it could be a good measurement, and to feel safe is sometimes what we talked about earlier, Oscar, that to choose a smaller agent, because we carry all our clients on our shoulders. The big companies, they don't have to do that. But if our clients are unhappy, we're out of business. That's important. So this is why some of our clients, they are calling and they're like, oh, okay, so why don't you sell that new build? Well, I'm sorry to say, but the quality is not. Up till now, the builder has not shown that the standards are good enough for those kind of money.
I mean, Sweden is such an advanced country. What were also thermal isolation concerns, because obviously you need it in Sweden, and the high standards in construction in general. And so whenever a Swedish person comes down here, they are looking for the best quality they can find, and they know what they are looking for. And I mean, the new development market has been targeted to the new development market. The reason has been targeted towards the Scandinavian market and trying to do the best. But as can you confirm what Maria said, that there is people obviously selecting very carefully, and you as an agent, that's your job to find the best for your client, isn't it, Oscar?
Yeah, no, that's definitely how it is. Yeah, but
So new developments, resale properties in town, very close to the beach. If we go further inland, let's say the Vega Baja is a big area. If we go further inland, like 5-6 kilometers, is that still interesting for the Swedish buyer? Or is it mainly probably the first 2 miles or 2 kilometers off the coast?
I think that what we talked about earlier on, that people are not safe. They don't feel safe anymore, and I think that as Oscar said earlier on also, that they want to come here and they want to open the door. They don't want a lot of things to do. So I think that mostly they are looking for something quite standardish, because if, let's say, a finca inland, you know that you will have a lot to do. In the house and outside the house, you will still have to do a lot of things, and I think that we have too much to do anyway in Sweden, and too much stress. But some people, this is what they want.
Yeah, the renovators, the ones that want to come down and do something. They definitely look.
That was a new word. I'm going to use that. The renovators.
They want to be occupied also down here a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, some people. Yeah, I think some people do, and I think also a lot of people, in terms of if we come back to a new production, I think a lot of people feel like it's getting too modern. Like it's losing all its Spanish style and Spanish feeling, and it's basically a shoebox after shoebox after shoebox, and that people don't like. I think that maybe for the older crowd, but they want a little bit of Spanish charm in their houses. So I think some of the builders are going a little bit back to that.
Yeah, they're going back again.
Yeah, and I think
like
they should.
That.
Because people are going to Spain, not to Sweden. So.
You will be easy. It will be easy in a few years' time. Easy to see. Okay, well, this
but
new
during
development.
what period?
When has it been?
Definitely.
And now it's probably coming back to the more Mediterranean stylish building style.
So at least a little bit of feeling of it. I think because people are in Spain in the end of the day. And And also I think a lot of people, there's a lot of builders and like carpenters and such in Sweden, you know, I'd say probably 1 in every 3 people or something coming down have something to do with like building or whatever. And obviously they think they can do it much better, so a lot of them rather do it themselves.
We have the trend for the Norwegian market, let's see whether for the Swedish is the same. There's a trend towards bigger cities, like we have Alicante nearby. Do you see that as well? Do you get inquiries for like bigger cities, cosmopolitan cities from younger people?
For me, definitely. But that's also because I made a conscious decision of trying to sell more in Alicante. Also because I really like Alicante. And I think it's a great city. It's a small Barcelona, so I like it. And the investment opportunities today in Alicante, I think, are great. If you're looking into buying to rent, Alicante is a great place at the moment. Because you can still get a 3-bedroom flat with 80 square meters. Maybe no elevator, because a lot of them don't have it, but you can get it for like 60,000, 70,000, you know, so that's great. But the market is a bit different in Alicante. It's a bit more tricky, it's not as collaborative as it is here, and so it's not the same as here, I'd say. But definitely, you know.
But it's quite fantastic because it has it all. Actually, it has the beaches, the beautiful beaches, and it has a culture and food and the pleasures of everything. It has it all. But still within reach. It's not like Barcelona or Valencia. It's not that big. It's still quite handy.
Yeah, you can walk from one side to the other, which is nice, I think.
But you still get that feeling when you go into the old town. That it's metropolitan in a way.
So looking a little bit ahead, what's coming from now on? We know what's the past been, we know what the present is, and let's look a little bit towards what's coming on. Obviously, the Sweden is not in the euro, so they have their own currency. Do you see big fluctuations coming up? The Swedish economy, is it fluctuating, or is it pretty strong? What would you say? What's ahead, Oscar? What can we expect for the next few years?
I think it all depends on how the Swedish property market is going, because it's been really hot for years and years and years now, which obviously pushed down the interest rate and everything, and it's just going, and people are expecting it at some point it's going to have to burst, or whatever you call it. When that happens, you never know. And also they're putting in new regulations in Sweden, so they're like capping the mortgage repayments. So before in Sweden you could basically just loan money, you never really pay it off, just a little percentage. They're pushing that up now, so people actually do own their homes. Because when the burst is happening, it's good if people actually do own their homes, and it's not only the banks owning it. So those regulations are already affecting the market a little bit, I think, because more and more clients are telling us that, you know, it's not as easy to loan on your property these days. Before, if you had a house, you know, and you had it for 20 years, there's a big chance that has gone up a lot at the moment. So remortgaging that is quite easy. But when they put in these new regulations, kind of like stopping that might have an impact, I think. But as well as, in the same time, as long as the market keeps pushing up, that's fine, because people's houses get more worth every day, you know, but that's going to stop at some point.
But it's also politics all the time, depending on what's going to happen, because I was into politics when I lived in Sweden many years ago, and at that time, like 10, 15 years ago and 20 years ago, you could see where we were going. You could have a vision, but right now everything is in disorder in a way, so it's quite difficult to.
It's very unpredictable.
It's a post-fact world today.
No, we will see. We will see what's going to happen. We've had a lot of buyers using, how do you say that? They got some money from the government so they could renovate their homes, and they could also renovate here in Spain. So this is why the second-hand market has been so strong, I think, in Sweden and not in Norway, because in Norway they don't have that. And now they are regulating that, so now they are going down with the percentage. So now they can't use those kind of money anymore. So I think that what we will see if they take that out, we will see that the Swedish market, the Swedish new build market will grow even more. But I don't think that people will stop coming here to buy, because here is very cheap to indulge yourself, to
To settle.
Yeah, to make you feel good, so to say. Because the wines are cheap and the food are cheap and you can live cheap and go to massage. It costs, it's a half price from at home, things like that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, they're opening new Swedish schools as well. They're opening Montessori, and as long as that keeps going, I think more families are actually going to just take the break and go here. 3 years off or something, or come back and stuff like that.
Got a lot of questions now from clients as well. Is there any job? Could we do anything there? Would you like to move?
Yeah, can I work with you?
Yeah, can I work with you?
Yeah, but if you think, how long does it take from Sweden by plane to arrive to Alicante? 3 hours?
Yeah, door to door,
3 or 4. 3 or 4 flight hours.
So very easy access, and you can fly into Alicante every day, can't you? Several times, I guess.
Yeah, there's quite a few.
Okay, so the Swedish have been the first one to buy here. The Swedish have been buying through the crisis. Now they are buying again heavily. And as you say, Oscar, Maria, there's nothing really that holds the Swedish back. No political issues back home. No, or probably just because of that, but no economical either. So it looks bright. We can go into the next future, into the future in the next few years. So the Swedish market will be there and will be strong, you say.
Yeah, hopefully. This is what I think.
Okay.
No, I think so.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much for being here today, Maria and Oscar. It was a pleasure to talk to you, some two great experts from the Swedish, for the Swedish market from Sweden. You don't go away. We'll be right back after the break, and I will be talking to the vicar of the Swedish Church here in the Vega Baja. Welcome back to the Vega Baja Real Estate Talk, and now we are into the lifestyle part. And today we talk about Sweden as a market, but Sweden as a country as well, and Sweden as a nation buying down here in the Vega Baja. And the Swedish have been one of the first foreigners here in the coast. And today I'm talking to the vicar of the Swedish Church here in Torrevieja. And with me on the plateau is Mr. Jan Madestam. Again, he is the vicar of the Swedish Church here in Torrevieja. Hello.
Hello.
The Swedish Church, how long has it been going, Jan, here in Torrevieja?
Well, it started during the 80s and was then a bit like retired pastors as myself right now that came during the season. And from 2003 there has been an ordinary pastor here for the all year round work, yes.
Okay. But so the church is open all year round now, so everybody can come?
Only during, let's say, August, that's when all of us go back to Sweden.
Exactly.
Yeah, so there is no services during August. 11 months.
Okay.
There is a church work and parish work, yes.
Okay. So what exactly are the activities for people who on the TV screen are watching as well, they didn't know about? What exactly are the activities you do?
Normally, of course, there are services. We have the Swedish service every Sunday and also a mass in the week. And that, of course, was the main thing here. And then, of course, you can do the same as you do at home in your parish. You can baptize your children or adults, of course, also confirmation. A lot of people come for marriage. A lot of people come down because they love the country and they want to be married here. And, of course, you can also have a funeral here. A lot of people are very old, stay here because it's a wonderful climate. So that means that we are more or less 75% of the people here are retired.
Okay. And how many members or people do you have a count on? How many people do you have in the community?
We have around, let's say, 600 that are members. Swedes normally, 75% of the Swedes belong to the Swedish Church. So that means a lot of people come down here for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months, and at that time they use the church, and then they go home to the Swedish Church in Sweden. So normally they say, as I'm just filling in for some months here, that we have around about 30,000-40,000 Swedes coming to Costa Blanca.
Okay.
That's quite a few.
Yeah, that's a lot of people. Yes, we know there's a big community also further north on the coast, but down here in the Vega Baja area, again, as we said, there is many Swedish been coming for many years, and the fact that you're going back with this church in the 1980s, it's obviously a fact that there is a lot of interest in people maintaining this tradition to go to the Sunday mass and to fulfill their needs. And,
that's right.
Yeah,
that's right. And of course, language has a lot to say. As many of us never taught or had Spanish at school, we are not very good at Spanish, as you can hear. I can say hola, but that means that your mother tongue has a great role in people's coming together. And of course, to listen, one say that you always count and pray in your mother tongue.
I guess so, yes. And it is obviously when you are abroad, doesn't matter where you are, but if you find people, because the church, in particular in a foreign country, your church has probably even more a role to play with a social gathering together, isn't it?
And that's why we have 3-4 hours every day open.
Okay.
In our parish hall, so people can come together and just to talk, sit down, and also to talk with the pastor or the deacon. And that means that we also get to know people better. Now I know that's one person at the hospital. That's things that we also do, of course. We visit people at home or at the hospitals.
Okay, okay. Where exactly are you based? Where is the church?
The church is in the area called Aqua Nuevas.
Okay, here in Torrevieja.
In Torrevieja, yes.
Okay, so you said what time is it open every day?
Monday through Friday. Not Tuesday. Monday and Wednesday, Thursday and Friday from 1 p.m. 4 p.m. Okay. And Tuesday nights from 5:30, there is a gathering. Could be a service, to see mass, or a meeting with someone having a talk, or just coming to be together. And then every Sunday at 11 there is a service.
At 11 o'clock.
Yes.
Okay, good. And what do you know, or what activities do you have? Outside activities as well for the members, or is it basically everything concentrated around the church?
Most is concentrated around the church, yes. But then there are walks, pilgrims, walking around as we do. All of people here want to walk a lot. That's probably why we come here also, because winter in Sweden can be quite tough. So. And there will be perhaps sightseeing to some of the places around once every 3rd month or something like that.
Okay.
And then mostly we meet at the church for talks, for perhaps view a film. And there are people coming painting, but everything we do, you can say you come and do something, but you talk and you have your own language. So mostly it's to come together. That is the main thing.
Yes, to be together, to come together. Many people arrive because of family and friends they have down here, but there's also people arrive, they are here for the first time. have bought their property, are living here, but now they say, where can I get in contact with like-minded people, in particular speaking in the same language? And I guess a church, this is the main function you could have down here, a part of being in contact with God, obviously, but having this social purpose to gather together, and I guess many people probably in the church make friends for the rest of their life.
Probably do,
Yeah.
yes. And there are, of course, so many people that comes regularly, both every winter and also their children come on their holiday during summer. So I could say that the family is here all the year around. And as you know, there's still more and more coming. So the climate gives a wonderful opportunity for, not least, elderly people like me and others, because you can be outside all the year, which gives you a lifestyle that keeps you fresh and gives more to your own life to be here in this climate.
Yeah, this is, we all know this is one of the main reasons people come to, obviously, to the Vega Baja, to Torrevieja and the greater Vega Baja area, the climate. But what would you say now, as you know the area also well, what are the other reasons people enjoy when they are coming down here?
I think people feel that they are very well taken care of, and people seems to enjoy life here in a way that you can see when you come here. So that keeps people coming. And of course, as you already say, the climate is very important, but also the people that you meet. So I think Spanish people are very comfortable with taking care of all other Europeans coming down here.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, being a foreigner myself, I've been accepted very well here, and I guess every Swedish person that comes down that is a little bit open-minded, finds contact through the church, but also is integrated into the Spanish society, isn't it?
Yes, and of course, the language is also a problem, but the younger people, even in Sweden now, study Spanish. So I believe that more and more of the Swedes will learn to speak Spanish also. But for us elderly ones, we're not very good at that.
Yeah, but the younger ones also already speak fluent English when they're coming down here.
Yes.
But also many pick up the language Spanish very quickly. They're interested, and but it's a great way to integrate into Spanish society through the church. I guess you are in contact with other societies as well, other Swedish societies.
The Swedish
probably.
societies here, yes, and they are also, of course, very important for the Swedes here.
Yeah.
And of course, I would say that from the beginning, when we came here as a church, we were very well taken care of by the Catholic Church, and had the opportunities to use the church in La Siesta, in Mil Palmeras. So there is a very good ecumenical climate, which also people do appreciate, to see that we come to the church here in Torrevieja for our Advent service in La Immaculada.
The Immaculada.
Yes. And of course, that's a great joy for us to have this ecumenical cooperation.
Very important, and it's nice to see that there is peace between people around, and there's so many things going on around the world at the moment, isn't it? And but it's nice to find a place where there's peace and silence and gathering together in a peaceful way. So if somebody sees the program, wants to get in contact with the church, what's the best way of doing?
You can see our homepage.
Okay.
And of course, there is always the possibility to call us.
Yep.
And I know you can now show our homepage, svenskakyrkan.se. Vega.se Costa Blanca.
Okay.
That's in Swedish.
Okay, that's where you can find you.
That's where you can find our program. Yes.
Okay. Good. So thank you very much. It was a pleasure having you here today. And
Thank you.
so everybody that is coming from Sweden wants to gather together with Swedish people, best way is probably first go to the Swedish Church here in Torrevieja, in Aguas Nuevas, go to the website, get in contact with them, and immediately you find friends and like-minded people. That's it for today. Just want to say before we leave, next week, well, we're going into the Easter week now. A lot of celebration going on. A lot of on the streets. You will find a lot of things going on. In particular here in Torrevieja, Orihuela as well, and all the villages in the Vega Baja area have their own procedures, traditional. So next week we won't have a program. We will be back on the 25th of April, so just after Easter. I wish you lovely holidays, and I hope to see you soon here at the Vega Baja Real Estate Talk with Ulrich and at the Television Vega Baja. Thank you, bye for now, and see you soon.